Hi everyone, Mark Coleman here from V2SN, and this is a Varsity 360 Gridiron Report video preview capsule looking at Colonial Forge High School. Joining me from the FLS Varsity team, it is Mr. Justin Rice. Justin, welcome. And we also have the head coach from Colonial Forge, Coach Bill Brown. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So another successful season last year, went deep into the playoffs, lost a lot of kids though. Who's going to be playing for you this season?
Well, fortunately we have our JV football team was good last year, and we keep our JV and varsity together for practice, so they've had varsity coaching and they understand. And when you make it into the playoffs, the good thing about it is you bring up the young kids that you think are going to help you the next year. So they're on the sideline, they're practicing with you, and they're getting a taste of varsity football. So that helped us a great deal. But we did have a lot of three-year starters that have graduated. Fortunately, we've got a lot of good young kids we're pretty excited about.
Coach, tell me about Antonio McCrae and guys like that.
Well, Antonio had a great JV season. He's a strong, powerful kid that had a great off season in the weight room. He just impressed us with how hard he was working. We knew he had talent. He's a hard runner. He's got good speed, but he's a very, it's hard to get him on the ground with one hit. He's one of those you better gang tackle type running backs.
The Eagles graduated their 5 leading rushers. Antonio, of course, had I think 22 carries last year. He's the top returning guy. Who else are we going to see in the backfield? I know you're going to need a quarterback. You're going to need some slot guys. Who else are we going to see around there?
Well, we're a spread team. So when you say 5 leading rushers, that's including those slot receivers and on the jet package and some of the run plays that we have with them. But with that question, we've got Antonio. We've got a young kid named Kennard McNeil that is very talented. We've got another young man named Preston Morgan who is young but talented that they've shown some good things in practice. And then we've got Rohan Martin at a slot, who has actually been a F-back, one of our halfbacks for 2 years, and he ran a 3.7 40-yard dash. Excuse me, a 4.37.
Okay.
3.7 would be really
good. A 4.37 40-yard dash at the Richmond Combine.
Wow.
So that's not my timing, that's their timing on laser. He is extremely fast. He is very experienced at a running back. It is nothing for us to pull him from the slot, put him in the backfield if necessary.
So 4 years ago, you were in a boat where you played a bunch of sophomores, and those guys turned into 3-year starters?
We had a lot of 3-year starters that graduated, and now we're back in that boat again where we got a lot of young kids. I met with the seniors after practice yesterday, and it dawned on me there's not many of them. We just had a handful of seniors, which there's some pluses and minuses with that, because you've got a lot of good young kids and your program's going to be pretty solid for the next few years. So that's very encouraging. The downside is the experience. But again, we have, those kids have been up on the varsity all through the playoffs. The deeper you go into the playoffs, the more experience your young kids are getting that you've brought up.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the, it's no different than college teams making bowl games. Yeah. They get all those next year guys ready to go.
Additional practice time, additional experience.
It's huge.
Especially experience winning, that's important too, right?
So that's being a part of it and understanding what it takes and what the ups and downs are of it, because you have to learn that.
So not a big surprise that Forge is reloading. They've been the class of high school football for the area for the last several years, and we expect that very likely will continue this season. But so the talent is there. What does the schedule look like for you? It's a number of new names on that list this season.
Well, it changed in a very positive way for us. Location. Prince William County in the last 2 years locked everybody out and just scheduled within their county. That forced us to have to go to Richmond for 2 games, over to Loudon with Briar Woods for a game, all the way to Roanoke for a game. So now we are playing 30 minutes up the road, eastern Prince William County. If Interstate 95 isn't backed up, we should get there. But it's so much better from the standpoint of location and travel. And you know, our first 4 games the last 2 years, Highland Springs, Briar Woods, Hermitage out of Richmond, and Massaponax. I mean, those are 4 brutal games, and because they're such great programs. And here they are again this year. If you look at any one of those 4 programs, they're picked to be playoff teams. So it's good to have those kind of teams on your schedule because it prepares you for the end of the year. But it's brutal from this is the way you start your season.
Sure.
Yeah.
One thing that's got to go right this year, Coach, for you guys?
Well, our young kids have got to come through, you know, and we've had a scrimmage, and we were very pleased with the way we conducted ourselves in that scrimmage, how we performed. Now, first scrimmages, there's a million mistakes, but competitively, with kids stepping up and wanting to compete, it was there, and we were very excited to see that.
And I know I want to give you a chance to. I know you think your offensive line is not bad this year.
Well, we have the center and 2 tackles back from last year. Grant Garza at 1 tackle is a 4-year starter for us now. I mean, he started as a 9th grader, so you know how that is. A lot of experience, and he's a leader on that line. Our unlimited wrestler, in a pretty good wrestling program, is our center, and he's back this year, and he's, you know, it's so helpful to have a center that you don't have to get a guard to double team a nose guard. Mm-hmm. You know, he is a guy that can match up with anybody on the other side of the line, and we can single block most of the time. And then Josh Weiler's coming back at the other tackle. He is a physical kid. He's a big kid. He's got good feet. So we had to replace Andrew Pigman. We had to replace Jonathan Kittimo, 2 3-year starters at offensive guard. We're doing it with a kid named Zeke Hand and Brent Campbell. Both these kids are benching way over 300 pounds, and they're just hard workers, and they're both 240 pounds with good feet. So we're really excited about them. We don't see a drop-off. And then we've got Andy Lowe coming as a junior. It steps in at center, steps in at tackle, and we've got Deshaun Hand that steps in at guard, and we feel very good about